Cool. Guys, welcome to episode 5 of our exclusive, actually. I think we should say it. Our guest that we introduced to, Jonesy, he's here as usual.
Hello.
With his pearls of wisdom. We've got B here, he's back. Gary Neville of Cumbria. He's going to give us his insight. Our special guest today is Rich, who we with from Molson Coors, who does all of our beer, which is behind us. But that's not it. So our exclusive today, Rich was working with the England team back in 2014, and he was inside the camp. So we're going to find out what actually goes inside the England camp. I think you'll all be fascinated to hear what actually goes on, and you never know. We might scoop. I think the first thing we're going to do is watch on the last game. We're going to move on quickly because it wasn't the best. Talk about what the game's like and get this juicy loss from Rick. How are you, mate? Anyway.
Thank you.
Looking forward. You could be famous off, mate. You might end on the Mail or something. That's the idea. I hope there's no NDAs you're breaking here. Right. B, what did we think? I did get a chance to talk to you on, what was it now? When was it? God, 2-3 nights ago? 4 nights ago? It was tragic, really, wasn't it? I mean, the only thing I'd say is everyone seems to be either be brilliant, and then it was boredom, wasn't it? I mean, what's your take?
My take on the game is that don't know if anyone watched Brazil last night, but the Brazilian manager is everything that Southgate should be. I think he made his substitutions. I mean, Brazil was 0-0. He made his substitutions around 60th back. I mean, it changed the game. I think that's something
Southgate, because he's got a wealth of people on the bench that could have changed it. Didn't. He never really does.
Yeah, but I think those 5 substitutes are more important than ever now as well. You get an extra 10 minutes at that end, and should be using them.
With the forward talent that England has, I mean, why?
Well, Scotland in the middle game last year, that was a boring 0-0. You'd expect us to stomp all over Scotland. It could be a bit of the same sort of thing tonight, but it shouldn't be. With what B's saying, the team, the squad we have, the depth we have, we should be wiping the floor with them. Really, we should have done the same with the US.
I think he's changing things tonight. I don't know. Has anyone heard any updates? I think Henderson's coming in.
Yes, yeah. The word is Henderson, Walker, and Foden are the 3 obvious ones, which suggests
Rashford maybe
suggests to me a change in formation. Do you think he's going to go 3-5-2?
I think he wants to try and hopefully kill the game dead in the first half, maybe, and then maybe rest people going into Sunday, perhaps.
I really think he's got to drop Mount. I'm not really sure what he's added so far. I think he kind of hid away in the Iran game because he played so well and he scored so many goals. Did he achieve anything in that game?
I agree.
Didn't see him really in the US game. See, I think he was one of the few that got shot on target, but beyond that, nothing.
I think it's the ones that I would question. I don't think Trippier's done much. I think Mount's done much. one other now's escaping me, but they're the two obvious players for me that haven't really done much.
I do think with the Trippier, I think he's a right back. He's solid. I mean, it doesn't make any mistakes. Fair enough, he didn't bring much going forward, but that's why he has 5 subs, and that's why he has Rashford and Grealish and Foden on the bench and Madison. I mean,
He's
got
a right
players.
back at the end of the day, isn't he? He's not,
Yeah, he's a right back.
It's not his job to be.
The other thing, obviously, people are talking about putting Ben White in maybe because he has a good relationship with Saka, and apparently Trippier didn't make any of the overlapping runs he's supposed to. Trippier and go. I think Trippier keeps his shirt for me. Maybe tonight he might get a rest, give Walker some minutes or so, but he keeps his shirt for me.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
One last thing I would like to add is, of all the players you mentioned, Matt, I think the one that was escaping you, to be honest with you, was Harry Kane.
Okay. That's the player I was thinking of.
I mean, I'd like to see Callum Wilson.
Is he fit?
I don't think he is. As Conte was saying before the tournament started, that he's really fatigued and he don't look on it at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Rich,
Even in the 6-2 win.
He didn't score many goals in the group games last time, did he?
Yeah. But you were saying before we came on, you were questioning, should he actually be captain?
No, I think if you hear him speak, and this is a funny story. I was watching BBC Bedtime Stories with my daughter the other night, and he read one. Oh God, he boring. He's got no charisma. It's obviously he is loud at these games as well. You need to be heard. I just don't think he's that leader. Although, from what I hear on the radio and stuff, he is good in terms of in the changing rooms. But do you see him as that guy out on the pitch? I think Jordan Henderson does a far better job, and even, dare I say it, Harry Maguire would be a louder, more authoritative captain than Kane. But,
So who would be your England captain?
Tough one. If Henderson on the pitch, Henderson.
Did you see when Hendo came on early week when I was like, when they're getting barking instructions to that, and I kind of got to agree with you. If they're in the, what are you going to get from Southgate? I don't know. I don't think he's that kind of manager. John and I were talking about in the car actually on the way up. You see these modern managers and they're tearing up and down the line and they're telling them what to do. He doesn't really do that.
No.
I think we have of a we've got a Terry or an Aaron or someone in there that's going to be drilling the master out there, and maybe that's what we need. I agree with you. I don't know who do that job in the current set.
Well, I mean, a lot of the nail on start 11, all a little bit too young to be that type of Henderson. And you're not going to see it from Saka, you're going to see it from Bellingham for obvious reasons. You're not going to see it from most of the others. Do you know what I mean?
Is Bellingham not captain of Dortmund? Am I making that up?
You're not. And so is Declan Rice at West Ham as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it is an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I mean, obviously they are young players, but I do think I agree with the age thing though, because in the World Cup, it's completely different ball game. I think in the World Cup compared to club football. So I think you do need a bit more experience. I think Harry Maguire has shown in the last few games as one of the England standout players for me that he is the leader on that pitch.
He does
I think
turn up.
there's people like John Stones. I mean, Trippier is Newcastle captain. There's John Stones, who's an experienced player now. Pickford has played in multiple tournaments now. Luke Shaw has played in multiple tournaments now. There shouldn't be a question of who is the leader anymore if you think about it.
Yeah, but none of those people. I mean, I'm not a believer of a goalkeeper being captain, and none of those are the character we're talking about, are they? That outs, but they don't seem to be anyway.
It depends. Who are we comparing it to?
I'm talking about like a John Terry of this world, or someone who's got.
Yeah, but maybe
on.
that style's maybe done with. Or at least it's been parked a little bit for the way we play. Maybe we don't need it.
There's
in that
always a
respect.
space for a keen Vieira-like character, isn't there? Wherever game it is nowadays.
Yeah,
Not
but
too many of them around, is there?
no, there's not. No.
I mean, even if you look at France's squad, really, I mean, Lloris is their captain. Who is their leader on the pitch? They don't really have one either. So it shouldn't have that much of an impact. I mean, France has won 2 games. But they have a game decider in Mbappe. So, I mean, the players just have to stand up individually, and Southgate probably needs to give it a bit more as well, because he does seem very quiet on the sideline for me.
I agree. So anyway, we're fancying our chances tonight, are we? I mean, you know, we can't lose, surely.
No, I don't think we lose. I think. Do you want to do predictions?
Yeah, go on then.
To
Go
the
for
end?
it,
I mean, I'm going to say 3-1. 3-1 England.
Okay.
I think it'll be tight. I think 1-0 England. Scrape it. I think it'll be cagey.
I think it might be cagey as well. I'm expecting to see yellow cards. I don't know why, but I'm expecting a bit of aggression. But obviously, with teams changing it about and Wales having to win, I honestly, it's unpredictable tonight.
You've got to give us a number.
I'm going 0-0.
No.
Oh.
I think it'll be 2-0 to us. I get the impression that, from what I'm hearing, that Ramsey and Bale aren't going to play the whole game. They're not fit. Whether he starts with them, I mean, would you start with them, Jonesy, and let them bring them?
If you've got to win, I think you've got to throw everything at us. I think tonight, and if you're Wales,
I would
to
think
try
so.
and get anything out of it, even if.
I mean, listen.
You know, it might be his last game in a tournament. Why wouldn't he play the full 90 minutes? I mean, how badly is he injured?
Well, I mean, what you know you're going to
to
still get. He's not the player he was, but you know what you know you're going to get is that free kick or that cross or that header or you know.
Yeah, that can come at any point in the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we're talking about the players. I think this is a great opportunity. We're excited about this one, Rich. So Rich was working with the England team 2014 around their security detail. Is that right?
Yeah, so 2014 World Cup, they stayed at the Grove Hotel in Watford, which I think they still stay at today before they go to World Cups. So I don't think they had much chance to do anything before this World Cup, did they? So I volunteered, got roped into security in those sense of the term because I'm certain the other guys were like 10 foot. The State Grove Hotel in Watford. So they pictures there. It's a really, I think it's a 5-star. Nice.
So let's paint the picture. So Hodgson is manager at this point, with G Neville as assistant.
Yeah.
What are some of who's in the squad that year? Is it Lampard, Gerrard,
so
Rooney?
Lampard, Gerrard's there, Rooney's there. Top of my head, Danny Welbeck, Daniel Sturridge, Ferdinand wasn't, I don't think. Gary Cahill. I was looking at the picture earlier. Phil Jones is in that squad. Luke Shaw, Carl Walker, Jagielka, that sort of era.
So in terms of what they're supposed to do, it's just they have the whole hotel is to themselves. Is that how it works?
It was pretty much a wing. So they had, like a conference suite essentially. There was a row of corridors. There was meeting rooms. I sent you the picture. I was outside one of the coaches' rooms, but there was a boot room. There was a games room. They had a lounge. And they essentially had 3 floors of rooms, which no one else was allowed to go in. And that was kind of my main role. So I was there for when they arrived. I worked the evenings. So they arrived one evening and actually showered in gifts. They were all given a brand new, I think it was an S3, Galaxy S3, which none of them took.
Well, it's just on the beds in their hotel rooms.
There was literally a trolley in the corridor and they were giving them out as they're going in and people were like, no.
And this is sponsors stuff, I assume.
Yeah. Sports kits. So each player probably has an individual sponsor, and whether it's Adidas, Nike, New Balance, whoever. I think it was, I can't remember who it was, probably Adidas. It's giving stuff out. People would take it, people wouldn't. There was just stuff everywhere. I guess the juicy stuff is, yes, they did train, they played golf, they went in the gym, but.
So as a day, they get up in the morning, they eat, they're straight out training.
Yeah, they're out for a good couple of hours a day.
They're here 24/7, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
No guests.
Okay, we get to that one in a minute.
Yeah, the fans got their own thin, sort of full coaching squad. I think this was an extended squad as well. So I think that
it's before they do the cup.
Yeah, so not like the 55 players that they do now. So it's sort of 30 players. So there was a few people who didn't make the plane. But I think the big thing for them was boredom in the evenings. They weren't allowed to go out generally. They were 100% in the bar.
Drinking?
100% drinking. They had games where they were playing Xbox and FIFA and stuff like that. Not what you'd expect from sort of our top professionals. Probably at the twilight of their career, like Gerrard was there, Lampard was there, Rooney. Definitely saw Rooney absolutely leathered. And this is days before they get on the plane.
Tell them the story about going to the Groves Froch fight.
Yeah, so during that time, I think it was Froch versus Groves at Wembley, so a big boxing fight.
First one, I remember that. That was a good bout, that.
Yeah, the entire squad went. I think Roy Hodgson was probably in bed by 6 o'clock. And they all came back, or 2 or 3 in the morning. They were leaving the next day early to catch their flights, I think to Miami and then Rio. Absolutely leathered. Got back to their rooms and then went back to the bar in the hotel. Definitely.
How many of them was there? Sorry, was it all?
It wasn't all of them. No.
I'm assuming it was the senior players, right? I'm not.
No, but more the younger ones. To be fair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say who was in the bar that you can remember?
Well, Daniel Sturridge would be one. Wayne Rooney, and a lot of the United players, which is upsetting to see as I'm a United fan. People like Gerrard, Lampard, no, they weren't there. I think they were a bit old for that. They're probably in their 30s by then. So.
And so, no other entertainment allowed in the hotel.
Well, obviously there was hundreds of other guests.
I see.
Yeah,
Are they're allowed to mingle with them?
Allowed to mingle, allowed to come into the wing of the hotel. No, but did they? Yes. Did they go into rooms? Probably yes. Did I hear things? Maybe.
And then the next morning, maybe we don't mention who this is. The next morning, one of these said people, and you go in their room, and what do you find?
Yeah, so we went around with some officials with the FA the day that they left. They all got on the coach to go to the airport. I think it was Luton, if that matters. And we did a room sweep of every single room to make sure there's nothing left behind. And I went into one senior player's room to find his credit cards, his wallet, an absolute ton of clothes. Not just the stuff that he's been gifted by the sponsors, like his jeans and underwear and jumpers, just everywhere.
Just abandoned.
Yeah. Phone, whether that was his phone, I don't know. I wasn't allowed to touch it. It's absolutely crazy that money is just nothing to them. Even their credit cards, I don't care. I mean, that kind of shows how probably obliterated they were that night.
That is the mentality, though, isn't it? Because if they're prepared just to leave everything, I mean, I think it's important to mention that they flew to Rio. Their first game was Costa Rica. It was 0-0. They lost 2-1 to Italy, and then lost 2-1 to Uruguay and came home.
Yeah. a little party, wasn't it, really?
Not a bad 2-week holiday.
But sure, I mean, it can't be like that. Do you know anyone still in that kind of detail that is involved with that?
They're still there. I don't speak to them regularly. This is when I live down south. They still go to that hotel. I think the mentality is different. I don't think Roy Hodgson had a lot of control.
But we're not talking about that long ago. We're talking 9 years ago, aren't we? I mean,
some of those players are still in the squad now, like Luke Shaw was there.
Really?
He's probably the standout. Walker was there. Yeah. So he's probably getting on a bit now, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's probably 4 or 5 players at least that's still in that squad. Be interesting.
Hendo would have been there.
Henderson was there, but again, I think he was one of the sensible ones. I didn't see him too much.
It must have been the same. Was it 2016 when we went out to Iceland? That was a terrible tournament at the Euros. But it was bang on it then as well.
But I'm really surprised, aren't you, when you listen to G. Neville on Sky now, and I would say he's a kind of disciplinarian. I mean, whether that's something that he's in the last 9 years, the fact that, I mean, what is Hodgson and Neville doing if their squad is out going to a box? I mean, surely they shouldn't be going to the boxing match and getting shit-faced anyway. Let alone all the other shenanigans that obviously went on. I mean,
look back at, where is he? No, he's not on here today. Well, Gaza and all the lads, they'd get boozed up in Hong Kong before any sort of Premiership game. There's Roy Keane talking on the punch there about having kebabs before a game and things like that. It's all changed in the last 12 years or so, maybe even more. It's completely changed. It's such a profession, like a sporting profession now. Whereas you go back through the years, look at Bestie.
I know, but I look at that. Sorry, B. I look at that and I go, you hear Neville and you hear the old Arsenal team, but it was like late 90s. Early 2000s. We're talking about 2014, and they're going out and getting shit-faced before a World Cup. I mean,
I think you got to think that those players have come through, say Wayne Rooney, they've come through with players who previously used to do that. And I also think, as you said, obviously Gerrard and Lamp's not going. I think it's quite surprising that they let them go and that there wasn't any disciplinary, sanctionings or anything like that. I think these days you'd probably get fines and all sorts. Would they care? Probably not.
No.
I think there is an aspect of it, though, is they do need to have fun. I think it was a Capello that literally locked them in the hotels during the World Cup that he went to, wasn't it?
That would have been the one before.
2010.
Yeah.
And they do need to let off some steam. Is that the right way? know.
Well,
I don't think so.
Someone was telling me, is it this year? I don't think it was England actually, but where they are in Qatar, one of the international teams, they've converted an entire ground floor underground car park into like a games room. It's got pool, it's got table tennis, it's got a cinema, it's got a PS4. They've got to have something to do, and I guess they're trying to contain them within a space so that they're not doing what was going on only 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd like to think the mentality has changed. I think they're proud to play for England now. I think. Were they then?
Well, I mean, looking back, you can look at it and go, well, if they would have won the World Cup in 2014, we probably wouldn't mind. The fact that they had a diabolical run, you're thinking, looking back, oh, well, that's the reason. Yeah. These guys actually get in places a little bit more so than anyone else has in the last however many years.
Yeah, I think it's sorry to butt in. I think it is a bit of a different profession now, and I think you have to look at just the managers in the Premier League. If you play for Pep Guardiola, say Jack Grealish or Phil Foden, and you come back off holidays, I don't know, half a kg overweight, you're no longer in the squad.
But wasn't there one? Was it Foden and one of the others went out drinking quite recently and got dropped from the team, didn't they?
Yeah, in Iceland or somewhere. Yeah.
And I think that's just I think it's a bit tighter now in terms of that. Will the players still do it? Probably. I think they're still humans, and I mean, they are extremely fit, aren't they? So I don't think that 1 or 2 nights of drinking and misbehaving will hurt them too much, personally.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it from like your phone's perspective, Snapchat, TikTok, everything like that, you can be seen anywhere, and it can get straight up, and then the whole world can see it as well. So, if Rich would have been on Snapchat back in 2014, we would have seen it already.
I mean, frequently. I'm sure
COVID and things like that.
So there'll be fun parties, and I mean, maybe it doesn't have togetherness. Whereas in the England, that might bring separation. I think it also does depend on, whether how they feel about it.
I think one thing you've got to say and I keep saying it's not that long ago. Who was manager after Hodgson? Was it straight into Southgate? No, we had we had Big Sam for about a week.
And
then we
came with its problems.
Listen, if Southgate has done nothing, he's turned us into a team, and where I do believe when you see them on the pitch and you see them before they go out on the pitch, they look unified, and I think that's what we saw in the last 2 tournaments. That's why he's deserved to go into have an opportunity in this tournament, but. Somewhere in the middle between getting shit-faced and, bringing girls back to the room and blah, 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 and, it being a Capello moment is what we want. And I'd argue he's done that.
Yeah, it's gone from, having girls back in your room or whatever they've been up to back in the day to Saka and whoever on inflatable unicorns diving around in swimming pools and stuff. So, cute as it is, I don't mind a little bit of raucousness, a few beers here and there can't hurt anyone, I don't think. And again, I think it brings people together if it's kept.
The only argument
within
would
the
be,
right, the right way.
Leaning into B's point, where now it's so stringent in terms of what they're eating and their conditioning and blah blah blah. Is alcohol affects the muscles and injuries and stuff. In fact, wasn't 2014 the one Rooney was injured in? He went into it with an injury. Was it not? Was it before then?
Could have been. Don't know.
That's 2006, wasn't it? Really back.
Sorry, mate. I don't remember what I did last night. It all blends in at this age. Come on, mate. Anything else you saw there? Anyone else? Does celebrities get on their camp? Does that happen?
No, even like Lampard's married to Christine Blakely.
Yeah.
She wasn't allowed in. I remember seeing her. I was stalking her through the car park, watching her cuddle Lampard as he left, but no, weren't allowed in at all.
Nothing at all.
Guests weren't allowed in the wing, but
they did.
Obviously, my colleagues were stationed on various points. What can you do?
Is it
what is
your money in the top pocket type thing?
I was going to say, what is your brief? So if said player has a young girl and he takes her back to the room and they're not supposed to have it, I mean, you told him that, he just tell you to do one, wouldn't he?
Exactly, yeah. What position you're in? Like the senior FA guys, they had their own sort of security guys as well that worked directly for the FA. They were there. They weren't there at night. They went a bit left at 7. There was a curfew, 11 o'clock, which was never adhered to. But yeah, obviously I wasn't on the front desk, but what do you say to them? They're just going to walk straight past you and laugh at you.
So what was your brief? I mean, what are you supposed to be stopping anyone?
Yeah, so I was mostly on the rooms a lot of the time, and there's stairwells up and down the levels. So anyone could get into that stairwell and walk up and down.
Yeah.
So many people sort of walk up and sort of like get into the corridor and you'd be like chase them off down the corridor. Press were about as well, generally respectful, which is surprising. There wasn't too many incursions from the British press. There were a few that got into the hotel and never got into the.
But there was a massive failure as they loaded the plane, you said.
Yeah, so there's a guy called Simon Brodkin, or Lee Nelson, or Jason Dent, I think his various stage names are. He got onto the tarmac in the same England suit that everyone was wearing. So he was inches from getting on the plane. And no one knows until they.
What did they do? Hook him on the stairs or something?
Yeah, if you Google it,
Yeah, he's on the picture. Yeah, he's literally on the
in the
picture on the
squad.
tarmac.
Who noticed him? Was it the players?
I think so. Yeah, they started. This is the same guy that flashed the cash in front of Sepp Blatter.
Yeah, he started throwing notes at him, didn't he?
North Korea's got it set. There we go. So, yeah, I think that I wasn't there for that, sadly, but it would have been bloody hilarious to watch. I do feel sorry for some of my colleagues.
I was saying there was a story that a guy. Do you remember the guy lined up with the? It was a European game, and then a guy lined up the United team, and he got in the huddle before. He just bobbed on the end, didn't he? And he got in the pre-game shot.
Yeah, I love it.
Talking about getting on the pitch, you were saying there was a pitch invasion yesterday.
Pitch invader, yeah.
Invader, what happened?
Oh, it's this Italian guy. He calls himself the Eagle, I think, or something like that. He was wearing a Superman T-shirt with "Respect Iranian Women" on the back and "Save Ukraine" on the front, and he was ran onto the pitch with.
He got on the pitch during the game.
Onto the pitch, yeah, during the game with a LGBT flag. And apparently, obviously, in Qatar, you know how strict the rules are. He's been let go this morning with no consequences.
Well, the eyes of the world on him.
However true that is, we don't know.
I think he's been banned from every other game, isn't he? So he's not attending the games.
Well, they would deport him, I assume. But
he's a brave man.
He is a brave man.
I did see, this is World Cup related, but it is Pitch Invader related. A game got stopped. Can't remember where it was. Might have been Turkey. Can't remember. Maybe someone else seen it. Where supporter ran on, got the corner flag, and wrapped it around a player's head, and the game got stopped. Didn't get restarted.
Oh, really?
And if you actually watch the footage, he snapped it clean in two, right over his back of his head. Yeah,
that's
it was pretty painful, to be fair. Also pretty funny.
I mean, it's a massive failing, but a kind of an impossible thing to manage, isn't it? I mean, you can't have a line of security all around the pitch. I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
I think it's quite interesting, though. Like the players, obviously, I don't know if you've seen the Germany picture that they took before the game where they had their covering their mouths. And I mean, the players, I think it was Neves for Portugal. He came out and said that he stands by the guy who wrote by the pitch invader. And it's like, you know, what is actually going on with the players and the fans and people not being able to say what they want or do what they want? Do you reckon it's going to build up over the tournament?
I don't know, man. Do you know what I think? I think there's an undercurrent where it is actually disappearing. I think right at the start of this, let's just forget the politics and get on with
leave politics to politicians and let the footy
100%.
talk. But also, it's like what B just said there. Eden Hazard's come out and said they shouldn't be doing that. Harry Kane and this thing with the One Love armband. I'm here to play football. He's very much like, I don't care sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then also looking at the Belgium team and there's massive infighting there. They've been getting, Lukaku's been pulling people apart on the training pitch apparently this morning because they're all
Belgium.
Yeah, they're
Why
all
is that?
Swinging. Just not very good, I guess.
I think he got Jan Vertonghen got accused of being too slow. And
Yeah,
he was like,
Kevin De
this
Bruyne
is
is
too slow. And it's
Kevin De Bruyne is sort of he said it in his post-match interview that, you know, a lot of the players 4 years ago, that was our chance. Now they're too old. The new players that are coming in aren't as good as them. I mean, that's got to be pretty hurtful to hear from your captain.
Would you
If he's
rather
the captain.
that was bottled up though, or would you rather it was out?
Well, if it was playing or Belgium are playing, I'd rather it was bottled up. I think they've got enough problems.
No, but I think that I understand why you asked that question because that transparency is, you know, if everyone's speaking their mind, then you know, a lot of just getting called out, aren't you? I mean, he plays for Tottenham. Of course, he's slow. What did they expect?
He used to. I mean, Tottenham got rid of him about 2 years ago. I think that's quite interesting though. Like, why? Like, as a manager, like, why would you take these aging players? Like, and why are they still playing? Like, I don't.
Yeah,
I
but
don't really get that.
Steady on with the aging, mate. All
Oh
right?
yeah, sorry, but why are they still playing? If you got, I mean, there should be enough talent as a country, right?
But Southgate said that, didn't he? He actually openly said when asked about Maguire, he just said no one young has stood up enough here to suggest that I need to be picking them over Maguire. And maybe, I mean, look at Uruguay yesterday. They've got Suarez and Carvalho. And you're thinking, what are they, 35? You're telling me there isn't an under someone, a younger Ukrainian, Uruguayan? Is that a thing?
Uruguay,
Player that's got to be better offering than that. I mean,
it's got to be. I mean, even Nunez up front. I mean, he is a striker, right? He's playing.
Yeah, it took him off, didn't they?
Yeah, it took him off. It's like
And put Suarez on.
it's a bit like, what is going on? I don't know.
it'd be interesting to see where we are in 4 years' time. When there's no Ronaldo, there's no Messi, it's Suarez, Cavani, if you want to mention them.
Yeah.
You know, Mbappe is going to be there. You'd think maybe Neymar too. He's kind of hinted that this is his last. So I don't know. I mean, Haaland's a massive talent, but he plays for Norway. So,
well, you've got these big talented players, and if you look now at Kane, for example, and we'll get onto that in a second, but he is 29 years old. I don't think he's performing. I said before, actually, the tournament, he never seems, in my opinion, to play well at tournament football. He looks injured to me. It's an enormous decision to take him out of the team, but I think he needs to be taken out of the team.
I agree. I bet he comes on tonight about 80 minutes and gets a hat
Well,
trick.
yeah.
Two penalties and some cheeky Lineker-esque header or something like. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he doesn't look right, does he?
No.
What do you think?
Leggy, slow.
I've never liked him anyway. I mean, I'm not just because he plays for Tottenham. I just don't think he. No, actually, just because he plays for Tottenham. But no, I mean, one thing about him is he scores penalties. Is he that good?
He scores goals.
Is he that good?
I think he's one of those players. I think he's like a bit. I think he gets looked at like he's not.
If you took all his penalties away, I wonder how many goals a season he actually scores.
Probably still a lot. He's a sniper.
Would you trust Wilson to fill that gap though? If he wasn't there,
I think he should have taken Ivan Toney.
Oh, there's the gambling.
Well, yeah.
So we don't know. We don't know what
if he's
actually
going to
goes
kick
on.
the ball again at this stage.
I don't know what actually goes on, but yeah. Is there anyone better than Kane as a striker? Simple answer probably is no.
I would rather, again, going back to tonight, I'd rather rest him, and if it's looking like Senegal, get him on against Senegal. Hopefully, he can. That game might suit him more to what this game might.
But we all know if Harry Kane says I'm fit, Southgate goes, you're in.
Yeah, it's very rare that he ever changes anything.
I mean, I don't think
until about the 75-minute mark.
Yeah.
So, what do you think he will? If he does make a change tonight, what do you think? Yeah, I mean, because not what we'd like to see. What do you think realistically he's going to do?
Definitely Foden starts. I think.
You think he will do that?
Definitely.
For Mount?
Yeah, and I think also Rashford will start. But I'm not sure.
What do you think, Rich?
I think Mount needs to go. I think it will be Foden. Not really sure where Mount plays, to be honest. Is he in the middle with
Yeah, in the middle, as a 10, yeah. Can I ask you guys a question, right? So obviously we're talking about people like Harry Kane that are basically not good enough, Jan Vertonghen at Belgium, these players. Do you think that's one of the reasons that there's been so many nil-nils? Or is that?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think? Is it down to the players not being capable of
playing in the heat or something?
Or do you reckon it's the weather, or what? Why do you think there's so many?
I actually think if you look at these earlier games, I mean, he says this one's 0-0. When it's a group game, there's a little bit right at the start where you're kind of not going to go too hard. And you go, when it gets to like shit or bust, you've got to go for it. You're going to get, by definition, you're going to get more goals, right?
Unless you Cameroon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I missed that. You said it was just calamity.
Brilliant, yeah. Classic. It was a classic. Good goals though as well. But I think you touched upon it in one of the episodes, B, and I was sort of talking about it. We mentioned it in the last bar chat. Usually, a tournament's in the summer after a long Premier League, Bundesliga, La Liga. This time it's slap bang in the middle, so everybody should be at the prime if they're fit.
If you're fatigued
whereas you've just done a long, campaign, and then you're going straight into a tournament, you expect the fatigue there more than you would in the middle of your season, which is what this should be. But I was thinking, well, that would mean there's more goals. But then some of the punditry I've heard on ITV, BBC,
not as good as yours, Jonesy.
No, of course not. No. But they've sort of said that's the reason why there's so many nil-nils. It just doesn't make no sense to me. Maybe you can explain it.
Well, because of fatigue, or
yeah. Well, they're saying there's more nil-nils because it's middle of the season, whereas I'm saying there should be more goals because it's middle of the season.
I mean, I'm currently watching. I don't know what you think, Rich, but I'm watching most games, and I think it's down to the quality of the players being more balanced. I think you look at the smaller teams like the US against England the other day. I honestly thought the players matched England. Like, obviously, before, like, we know England's players' qualities, but we don't really know much about the US's players' qualities. And I was watching that game, and I thought, well, Pulisic hitting the bar. I was thinking, we could even lose.
We were lucky. I think all those teams deserve to be there. They haven't got their half a guitar on a bye, I guess. They've earned the right to be there. Obviously, I don't know how difficult each group was for every team, but there's no team in there that you think should be absolutely annihilated. Iran as well. They beat Uruguay, didn't they, on the way? Not on the way, but before the World Cup in a friendly, and they beat Senegal. I think there's no reason why none of the teams should be scared of getting through.
I think they're all good. I think they're all good teams, and I actually think the nil-nils come also down to, obviously there's the quality of the teams, but also because they shouldn't be fatigued. I've not seen any mistakes yet. When you concede goals like in the Premier League with mistakes, I've not seen any team.
Yeah. But if you look at, and I think, the reason people say that the Premier League is the best sort of league in the world, and it obviously is you get the likes of Brentford. Who did they beat the other day?
City away at the Etihad.
Because actually every single team is capable. Well, they're obviously the cities of this world are better. Every single team is capable of beating the other team, and in the exception of Qatar, what I've seen on here, that's much the case. I mean, this game here, Senegal, Ecuador have looked brilliant. I mean, I wouldn't fancy playing either of these teams.
The only game Qatar Ecuador, which we had on at the start of the tournament, they were really, it was Qatar that they were playing, but they were a really cohesive team. Some of these, even like the Japan team, I watched that Japan-Germany game, and they weren't 1-0 down, but they didn't stop. And sometimes in you admit defeat when you're the minnow or whatever, that doesn't really happen anymore, whether it's the Premier League or in this World Cup. They keep going. Cameroon, they kept going. They were winning, they were losing. Even I watched the Canada, I think it was Canada-Belgium. They deserve something out of that game. They've just not got anyone that can finish. Yeah. But the actual passing play and the athleticism,
it's a word, mate.
was fantastic. So the quality is just much better, which is probably why everyone, like you said, more evenly matched. Yeah. And obviously everyone's scared to death of losing. Yeah. You don't want to lose. You'd rather draw 0-0 like we did than lose 1-0 at the end, or get hammered like we did to Iran, or Costa Rica got hammered from Spain.
We're going to go into a little quiz in a minute. I just on a round off on this one, because I know that we've got to get the fan zone open straight after the show. I'm really interested to get your insight, Rich. Obviously, Budweiser isn't one of your brands there at Molson Coors, and I know Carling have got some fan zones all over the country. But what's your take on this? I mean, if this was Molson Coors or one of your brands out there, and you spent 75 million trying to put into Qatar. I know you said to me earlier it was 75 million to Budweiser, but they're obviously going to sue, right?
Yeah, I think so. But the Qataris going to just stamp up the money for FIFA, probably. I guess if it was me, if I was working for Budweiser, or if it was Carling sponsoring it, or any other brand, I look after 100 customers, 100 pubs, bars, restaurants. I'd be telling everyone about it and what it's going to bring to their business. And obviously, they've lost all of that in Qatar. I think it's massively damaging to their reputation.
But I'm thinking logistically, there must be thousands of barrels of beer in Qatar, which is kind of funny in itself. but for a country, what are they? I mean, logistically, what do they do with all that beer?
I think the winner's going to get a lot.
Yeah, the winner says. Apparently the winner gets the majority of it.
The winner gets the majority of what?
The beer.
All the beer that's
The
sat
winner,
there doing nothing, going out
the winner
there.
of the World Cup.
Yeah,
The winner, hold on, but the winner of the World Cup as a
They get
team.
60 million quid's worth of beer.
Okay, but what do the players do with that? Because they're gonna go back to
No,
Premier
not the
League
team.
next week.
Go to
take it to the Grove.
Oh, the country.
Take it to the Grove Hotel. See you there.
Rudy's
In
going,
Watford.
I'm all over this.
I'll drink Budweiser
I
for one
can't
night
wait
if I
for
have
to
to.
win now, because if that happens and Budweiser start giving away free beer, I think I'm going to be in trouble.
So is that how it would work? So that if that beer, say England won, let's hope, he's hoping. So all these hundreds of thousands of barrels of beer come back free to this
As
country?
far as I'm aware, yeah. But I'm not even sure it's barrels. I've seen warehouses with pallets stacked 10 high, bottles, and Bud Zero as well.
But so how are they going to distribute that? Who gets the free beer? Does everyone get free beer?
Well, because I've owned Budweiser, I'm going, Q, I'm not paying to send all that back to England. You do it.
No, it costs millions to send it back, wouldn't it?
Well, another thing, just touching upon it again, is I personally believe what they've done is gone, right, Budweiser can sponsor it. My mate's I've seen on Facebook, he's flying out at Manchester Terminal 1 or whatever this morning. 15 lads have all gone out, they've all bought tickets. You've had to get tickets to games to go. I think he's 6 or 7 games he's booked on to watch. And he's like, oh, you know what? I went actually trick-or-treating with my daughter and he was telling me all about it. He's like, oh, yeah.
What, in Qatar?
Yeah, no. He's like, oh, yeah, they've got these fan zones with the beers and this and that. And then seeing him closer to the time after it had been announced that they're pulling it. And his version is, well, they've got everybody to, and a lot of supporters will feel that way. They've got us there. And now it's, oh, well, we don't need it now. You bought your ticket, you're here, you can't refund it, you're going to come. See you later.
I think as well, in
It's a bit
terms of
cynical.
the sales they're losing in Qatar is nothing. It's negligible, isn't it?
Really?
I
mean, there's an argument that it's good PR. But would we have even known it was Budweiser?
Well, it's everywhere. Like it's all over. It's still on the hoardings, isn't it? It's still being advertised, which I think.
You got the Budweiser man of the match thing.
Yeah, I think that's really strange that they're not allowed to sell it, but they're still advertising it absolutely everywhere. But
Well, that shows you how close to the bone it was, I guess.
Yeah, but Budweiser, it's a global thing, isn't it? It's a global push marketing ploy. You walk into a supermarket, you see a stack of Budweiser cases with the World Cup all over it. It's not about what's happening in the country, because that probably really is nothing to them.
Yeah.
Has it had a global impact? Possibly.
Star Brahman's where it's at, I think.
Yeah,
I agree. Budweiser's rubbish. I'd definitely go Star Brahman. Or Madry.
Oh, Madry.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, the chaos ensues, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think you can expect the unexpected. Is what we've seen of everything.
I think there'll be something else. We're only halfway, according to what they said on the BBC. We're only halfway through the tournament.
I do want to say on that. I think it's actually been. Maybe it's because I'm watching all the games, but I think it's been one of the best World Cups ever.
Quality matches, yeah.
I honestly,
So far.
I've really, really enjoyed it.
I think a lot of the games have been a bit of a yawn off.
I mean, there've been 0-0s, etc., but I've really enjoyed it. Even the 0-0s have all been good.
But you could
0-0s.
watch Sunday football and enjoy it. I mean, you're not a good barometer, right?
I kind of agree with B. I think there's been some standalone really good games. Like Richarlison's finish the other day, that was fantastic.
Very good,
You know, even England 6-2 on an eye-opening game, it was pumping in here. It was great. It was a great time.
I think
I don't even mind it being this time of year. I've not done no Christmas shopping, and I'm fine with that.
I love how all the fans as well. Everyone's just mixed. The atmospheres are just, it's just like it's almost like neutral every game. It's just a big party, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's been no arrests of any British fans. And
Really?
Yeah, that's probably attained to no alcohol. However, I've heard of mass brawls in Tenerife where English and Welsh fans clashed. Some booze involved. So
Speaks volumes.
Oh, there we go, guys. Senegal have a penalty.
Quick on that VAR. Shocking.
With,
Refereeing. We complain about refereeing in England. The refereeing at this World Cup has been horrendous.
Are you referring to
Yeah.
the Portugal non-penalty last night?
It's a joke.
Even the-
It was behind.
Even the Ronaldo penalty in the first game, was that a penalty?
And the offside as well. They're flagging so late. It's like 10 minutes after. They're like, it's like we're playing 5 minutes on, and then the referee's going VAR review for a penalty instead that happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Right, here we go, guys.
Here we go.
Let's have a look.
Whoever
Didn't see the challenge. Did anyone see the challenge?
No, I didn't, but they score this.
Be surprised if it wasn't foul.
Oh, here we go.
Sure.
Referee's having a word.
Oh,
Who's taking the pen? Do we know B? You're quite good at this.
can't see.
He's obviously instructing him to stay on the line. Watch
Well,
along, guys.
I
This
do-
is big
I
TV
do,
moment. In fact, there's lots of people in the window behind us actually waiting to watch this penalty. Here we go, guys. Oh, he did. 1-0
Nice.
Senegal.
What a pen that is.
Tried to stand his ground, the keep there.
There you go.
I think that's sour, isn't it?
Right, guys.
They've
Well,
been
listen-
a good team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Both of these teams.
Who do you prefer?
I kind of prefer Ecuador, but I think they're real evenly matched, to be honest with you. And I think they'll both could cause a problem. And going back to what B's saying about the World Cup and it being good, and you saying it's been a bit of a boring thing.
Oh,
It
don't think it's boring. I just think some
but-
games have been a bit.
But it doesn't really get going until that last 16
Yeah.
when it is all to play for. You can't have these 0-0s. You've got to win.
Well,
And
how's
that's
everyone?
where it starts getting tasty.
Final point on that before we move into a quick quiz. What's everyone's take on this? It seems like football's now 100 minutes, not 90. Is this something that everyone's going to roll out and they're trying in the World Cup? Because we're getting 9 minutes, 14 minutes extra time.
I'm actually excited to see because if we're going to get to plus 90 minutes, we're going to end up playing 150 minutes of football. Is that going to take a toll?
Well, they're all cramping up,
Yeah.
aren't they, normally?
Oh.
So,
Well,
Honestly.
you've got England game. What was it? 24 minutes stoppage or something like that.
I
The guy
do-
broke his nose.
I do quite like it because, I mean, in a lot of managers, they use, substitutions and stuff as,
Yeah, like
something
Simeone
to slow the
Simeone
game
at
down.
Atletico Madrid.
If you can't
he's-
get away with it,
Yeah, I think it's fair enough. Keep it going.
am I
But-
right in saying they're finding these minutes because if there's, they all stopped if the ball went out of play. But is it because substitutions? What is it? Where are they finding the
I think
minutes? Do you know?
You've got a set time thing.
put in a set time thing, yeah. If you make a substitute, I think that's 30 seconds. If someone goes down, you get like medical attention, I think it's like 2 minutes. They just add it on.
What,
So-
mandatory adding time?
mandatory. So it's
Yeah,
like that's why we get so many 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes minimum. But it's
Yeah.
like yesterday, if you were Ghana, you're 3-2 up, and you get to the 90th minute, and you see 9 minutes adding time.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're going, you're kidding
You're
me.
having a laugh.
So yeah, I think it's
It
interesting.
wasn't
I think it's good.
mentioned going into the World Cup, so when it started to happen, everyone was like, "What?" But
Yeah.
now I'm on board with it.
I hope they bring it to the Premier League.
I think the Premier League have already ruled it out.
Really?
Yeah, I think I
Oh,
read that somewhere. But it makes those substitutions more important because you could be playing. If you come off the 60th minute, you're playing a full half, essentially, aren't you?
yeah, and then if it goes extra
Yeah.
time, I mean, the next World Cup, there's more teams, there's more groups, but they're doing extra time and penalties in the group stages at the America, Mexico, Canada World Cup in 4 years' time. So it's all going to be, there'll probably be about a 50-man squad though as well. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, there's more-
the merrier.
More teams, did you mean?
45 teams there'll
Yeah.
be, so 46. Can't remember how they work out.
So how they're going to still do it? So there's like, it's still over a month period. They're just going to have more games every day, I
more
assume.
games, yeah, and you can't have. I think that instead of a 32, it goes into maybe. Oh, you work that out.
Well, you'd have one more team in
64
each
or
group,
something.
wouldn't you?
So yeah, you've just got more
Crazy.
knockouts. So
Not good for the players, good for
you
fans.
can't have a draw basically. So it's going to be absolute. Do you know what I mean?
Carnage.
3 points, nil point. That'll be it.
I saw something really interesting on that where it was on TalkSport actually, where there was a guy going, let's have no draws in the World Cup. Did I talk to you about this before? No draws in the World Cup. So he said if you take one individual game, there are 3 points. There are 3 points available, right? So his argument was, if you win the game, you get 3 points. Obviously, if the game's a draw, every game games a draw, you get a point each, but every game goes to a penalty shootout,
Yeah.
and you get an extra point if you win on pens. No, it makes the game brilliant, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that nobody.
Ridiculous, though, isn't
No,
it?
but what his argument was, if there's 3 points available, why do we only distribute 2 points if there's a draw? Let's distribute 3 on every game, and then every game's a penalty shootout. It'd be chaos. It'd be like, you know,
I mean, you'd want
Roy
to
the
win.
Rovers football.
You'd want to win before.
Well, you
before
would,
the game,
obviously you would, but
But
you know.
for me, just bring back the golden goal like they used to do back in the days. That was.
No, I
quality.
hate it.
Imagine these games going to extra time and you've already had an extra for 10, 15 minutes already.
I think it
And then
affects
another
the,
half
Well,
an
listen, I
hour.
think you've
It
got to be
affects the
wide in
players
the
too
squad,
much.
though, then, aren't you? So,
you know, but it affects the players too much. Equality. I mean, it means more goals for the fans, but it's ridiculous.
Do you remember this? Someone was saying the other day there was a silver goal. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you win it
Yeah, at the end of the half.
Yeah.
I never remembered that.
What?
I think I only got used
Yeah,
once.
so they had a thing called the silver goal. So golden goal, game's over, they've scored. Silver goal was if they're in the first half or the second, or say the first half of extra time, if you score in the first half, so it wasn't over then, it was over at the end of that half. So you got the half of extra time. Oh, but it was in one World Cup,
remember
wasn't
That
it?
was tried and won.
I love how like that.
2006, 2010, maybe.
Something like
I
that.
love stuff like that.
Again, the thing with Ronaldo again, was it his goal? Was it Bruno Fernandez's goal? He didn't touch it. He didn't head it. But the balls have got sensors in. I didn't know that. All the balls have got sensors inside of them to see if.
All
Well,
the
yesterday
players,
when he clipped it.
But he did, yeah.
all the
I
players
didn't know that. That's
before
mad.
the game, all the players. The technology is crazy that they have in football now. Every single player gets scanned. So that you know the new VAR.
Yeah.
When you're offside, when you're not offside, every player's got like every inch of their body's being scanned. So it's like they can tell whether you're offside or not. And you know that. Don't know if
Well,
you've
how
seen
do they
it
do
live.
that without
I have-
sensors and shit?
I have absolutely no idea how they've done it, but it's.
That's
I mean, the referee's still
ridiculous.
appalling. So. Oh, I love the fans. That's one thing about the World Cup. By the way, you're spending what $7,000 each. I've seen families at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Family, you're spending $7,000-8,000 each
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah, I mean that the tents in the middle of the desert. What's that? That's
That's
£175 a night
Crazy.
to stay in a tent with. You know, so we've got security, it's like a tiny little padlock, and
Oh, it's
you got like
brilliant.
an office fan for your AC. You can't have a drink to get yourself off to sleep. No thanks.
Crazy. Right, guys, let's have a quick quiz, and then we're going to wrap up, get this thing open, and get ourselves excited for the game.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
What's the topic, B?
Topic. I mean, we always do a bit of. It's all right. We always go a bit generic, don't we? So I mean, a bit of fun.
If anyone wants to help me on chat, that'd be good. I've got John on my side here. He's off the camera. He can help.
Matty Cass, where you at?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
One at a time and show it.
Yeah, we'll go one at a time. The format's pretty simple. You'll catch on as you go. Okay. Well, we'll start easy.
Okay.
Where was the 2014 World Cup held? I mean, you should.
Just heard that one.
I think we all heard that one.
Miami.
Should be a 3 point. We ready?
Yep.
Rio.
I mean, Rio. Yeah. I mean, Brazil. I mean, you know.
haven't got-
I let it.
No, it wasn't yet. I guess it wasn't specifically Rio, is it really?
I mean, I'll give everyone.
Countries.
A
yeah,
point.
wrong.
Get technical.
I'll give a point for that. Everyone gets a point for that.
Oh, Lucy got it right.
You got it right. Nice one. Question 2.
I've got another one to rub it out.
Oh, well, on the back of your pen.
Oh, I see. Fancy. Okay, carry on.
In 2010, there was a musical instrument that has recently been banned. Which musical instrument was it? So there was a musical instrument. It was used.
Any extra
I mean,
points for correct spelling?
no extra points for correct. But I mean, we all know what it is. Well, we should know what it is. I told you about it. What I used to do in 2010. Yeah. It makes a load of racket.
It's been banned from Qatar or banned.
It's been banned from every World Cup since. So it's been banned 2014, 2018, 2022.
just
It was
thought
horrible.
Not allowed to
I
use
just-
it.
Road, wasn't it?
Because
Yeah, I
it just
just
makes
thought
too much
nice.
noise. It just makes too much noise. They banned it. You ready to show?
Yep.
All right, turn the cameras around.
I don't know how you spell it.
I mean, everyone gets the point for that. It's the Vuvuzela. What a brilliant
Made
instrument
such
that
a
was, by the
horrendous
way.
noise. It was just
Oh,
a drone, wasn't it?
I told Mark.
Why did they ban it? Too noisy.
It makes too much. I think there was so many complaints about that.
They got rid.
They just said we can't do it. Okay, question number 3. Which footballer famously headbutted someone in the 2006 World Cup?
Yeah, I'm
I think
on
that's
it.
a pretty easy one as well.
Again, I can't.
I mean, we always start easy, don't we?
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty straightforward. We ready?
Good. Oh.
Last bit change.
Oh.
What?
Sorry.
No, he's right. It's wrong. I know. I can't change it now.
All right, turn around. You got? Who's that?
Simeone. I got it wrong. Sit down.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about. I got confused with the Beckham thing.
Oh.
Carry on.
That was 98.
Yeah.
It was his foot.
He's looking
Look,
at
bear with me, all right?
Okay, question number 4. Which Asian team recently beat former World Cup winners Germany in this World Cup? Exciting game, that actually. Give points all around. There we go. Nice. Nice drawing, Jonesy.
Thank you.
Mark even gets the point.
What do you mean even?
Well done. You always lose. I don't think I've ever seen you even get close.
You kind of concentrate for the first 2 questions, then you're like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Question number 5. Who is the all-time World Cup goal scorer? So all the World Cups combined.
Oh,
Don't know how you spell it.
It's a good guess. It's a good guess, but it's not right.
Oh, come on.
I mean, it's a good guess. You can change it
All
now.
time,
if you
so
want.
across loads of them. Not
Yeah,
in
yeah.
one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, across all of them, yeah. Ronaldo recently broke a record scoring in 5 World Cups. First player ever to do it.
It's
We
obviously
ready?
not Ronaldo.
no, I'm not ready.
Had a pun.
Better punt.
Anyone in chat? Come on, Luce.
I'm just going to have to go
Might
for
have
it. I
to
don't
use
think
Google
it's
for this
right
one.
now.
Get on Google for Christ's sake. All time.
All
Do you
time.
know what it is? You in
That's it, I
there?
think
I've seen it.
I think
I've seen it on Match of the Day.
I think
Oh,
there's
it's
an
not
interesting-
again.
Yes.
I think there's an interesting stat on that. I think he scored every single goal. Listen to this. I think he scored every single goal
Change of
inside
mind.
the box. Every single one of them. Which is
Can you give me a genre? I mean,
I
we
can
talk-
give you a hint. He's
Go on.
German.
I got it.
Oh, I know.
Got it. Oh, I think it's giving it away.
No.
No, still wrong.
Wait.
Matty, where you at? You need help.
Mine's correct.
No.
We can't just keep going until someone
Okay.
gets it right.
All right, let's go, guys. Come on.
Wait, mate, am I right?
Come on, let's do
Go
it.
on.
Turn it around. No.
Is it Thomas Muller?
No. It's Mario. It's I don't know if his name is Mario. It's Closer. Miroslav.
Oh, same era though, Mario Gomez.
Yeah.
Okay, you stepped it up here now, haven't you?
Okay.
That was a good one.
This is a tough question. Well, I think the rest
That
of them
was
are actually
tough.
pretty tough. There's one nation that has never missed the World Cup. Which nation is it?
Didn't you ask us this before?
I don't think I have.
No, it's something I kind of brought up, but it's not the same question.
There is a nation that has never missed a World Cup. There's been 22 of them, if I'm correct. Obviously, I've been wrong previously. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
Fills me with hope.
Come on, John.
It's not an African. It's
Okay.
not an African team.
I know this.
I'm out early, but I don't think I'm right.
He's out early. He's out early, Mark. Punt. Just guess. Got nothing to lose.
We've got to get the shop open, man.
France. The answer is Jonesy's actually right. It's Brazil.
Oh, come on.
Back in the
I thought that
game.
was too obvious.
Yeah, I did.
Well, it won't.
All right.
Give us a little. Are we halfway through? Is there a score update?
The score update. Mark's on 3, losing per usual. Jonesy is on 5 and Richard's on 4.
Okay.
Come on.
Going down.
I see you trying to open my phone.
Question-
You get this right, mate. You get 200 tons of Budweiser coming to your house.
Bring it down, sorry, Rich, but we'll take it.
Next question. What year was the first World Cup hosted in? And I'll give you a clue. It was between 1925 and 1940. So you get a 15-year range, you know, if you could just have a punt.
It was in Uruguay, wasn't it?
I have
Yeah,
no
I
idea
know
where it
that.
was.
Yeah, I think.
I have no idea where it was, but that would have been a good question. We've gone for the
Look,
yeah.
he's looking very confident in the corner.
I'm not confident, but also filled in as
It would have
quizmaster
been one before
last
the
time
World
round,
War.
and
Then
I
it
did a
would
bit
have
of quiz
World War would have been after the
writing,
Second
and I'm
World,
sure
after
it
the
came,
First World
came
War.
up
Okay.
on one of the
Before the
sites.
Second World War.
It was
Then you've got to go
before-
multiples of 4 backwards.
I mean, you can do it if you want
It was
to.
Okay.
paused during the war, wasn't it? So it
Yeah.
doesn't count. But they've done it every 4 years after.
Don't know.
Turn it around. What's your answer? 1930, 1928, and 1928 is actually
26.
1930. Tell you what, look at that.
Ah,
I knew, obviously.
obviously. Catching up.
Yeah.
Well done.
Back in the game.
Okay. This is a simple question once again.
Netherlands winning, by the way.
Who was the England manager in 2014?
Oh,
I mean, I think everyone should get this one.
that's not how you spell it.
You ready?
Yeah.
this group, if it stays where it is, then so it's Netherlands top and
Oh, turn around.
Senegal
Boy.
second.
Boy.
Boy.
I got Roy. Everyone
Boy,
gets a
my
point.
boy.
Roy Hodgson.
Ray Lewington was there in that fold as well.
Was he?
We done this last time, and I actually quite like this type of question. But I think it shows who actually watches the games and who doesn't.
Go on then.
Who wears the number 7 shirt for England?
Oh, got that.
It was a good question.
You got it wrong.
It was a good question. No, it wasn't a good
The
question.
number 7 shirt.
7.
Not
Was it number-
7.
was it
Not
number-
17. 7.
Was it number 10 last time? The question was number 10 last time.
Last time
wasn't
was
it?
number 10. Yeah, this time is number 7.
Is it?
I feel like I'm going to write the answer to who was.
I'm giving
Sorry.
Mark a 3 point really.
Go on.
Right, we ready? Turn it around. Yeah.
Oh.
Number 7.
No, you're normally on first name basis, you know.
Rice,
Well done,
baby,
Mark.
let me down.
Can you have the score update, actually?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark's
What?
on 6. Jones is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jones is on 6.
Oh, sudden death race
1,
around the
2,
block.
3, 4, 5, 6. Rich is on 6.
Oh,
Devil's
man.
number
How many questions left?
1, which I think everyone will also get.
Go on then.
So Phil Foden in the Euros dyed his hair. Who was that haircut inspired by?
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, he's your hero, isn't he?
Is
I think everyone gets this one.
Seaman S-E-E or S-E-A?
I love how Jonesy's trying to throw you all off.
Grew a ponytail overnight.
Right,
Ready?
so,
Everyone gets this right.
okay.
Okay. Well done, Mark. Everyone gets a point. Now here we go. Here we go. Whoever gets, if you get it wrong, you're out. If you get it right, we'll keep going.
Okay.
So Richard was at the 2014, he was in the hotel, etc., etc. But who was England's captain?
Oh, good question again.
No clues on this one.
It's a bit unfair. He can probably
I
guess.
don't know. But
It was England. Was
I mean, you get your guesses out.
Hey, no food. All that steak here.
changed my mind.
Did you write yourself down there?
I should have been on the plane.
Ready? Turn it
Right,
around.
1, 2, 3.
2014. Sorry, can we zoom in on this? What? Beckham in 2014.
yeah.
John Terry, Lamps. Everyone's wrong. That is.
Gerrard.
Who was
It
it?
was Gerrard.
But I
I knew you
It's like, wow.
Yeah, well, when did
Okay.
when did Beckham retire? He was still playing, as far as I was concerned.
retired after
Oh, yeah.
2002.
Could be here
Really?
all night.
Okay.
You're lucky I didn't put Charlton.
So we have touched on this, but
I love if you run out of questions. Before we
I mean,
go.
I'll just have to keep going. What nationality was the pitch invader that ran to the pitch yesterday?
I think I remember what you said.
It has been said today.
Are you out of questions? You're now making them up.
Oh, I'm making them up, yeah.
I like it.
I'm going. That's what we got.
Here. You ready? Return.
Ready to go, yeah. Italian. Everyone gets that one, right? Of course they do. We keep going.
The important stuff.
I just don't want to set the bar up. Let's just keep going.
Okay. So, Qatar's a hot country. We know this.
Really?
Yeah. But where do they rank as hottest countries in the world?
Oh, get out of here.
I've got.
To the closest to win?
You're telling me you're making this up
We'll
and
go
you
to
know
the
the
closest-
answers to that
I've got
question?
the answer to that question. Yeah. We'll go.
What
We'll
shit
go
do you store in your head?
We'll go to the closest to win.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, it's worth a punt. Give a number.
Go on then.
We've got 12, 6, and 3. Ooh. Mark, you're out.
No.
And these two will have to keep going because the answer is actually 9.
Go on then. Can you give me the other 8, please? I'd like the other 8.
I'm afraid I can't. do
Right,
that.
that's what I expected.
What's the top country? Do you know?
I don't. Hottest country in the world, I don't.
Have to Google that.
I mean, I could make this shit up.
Ethiopia,
Lucy,
isn't
can
it?
you Google
I'm
this?
not sure. I assume it
I'll
will be.
refuse to be out.
Make the fun.
What's this now? Scissors, paper, stone.
Right. I'm just looking through my book. What other questions have we got? All right.
I got a question.
Go on.
Piercy missed the penalty. Where is it? You know the one I mean?
Yeah, he's in the next room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were we playing? What year?
Double question. Like it. Google.
on that phone.
We need a phone, John. We need Google.
What year was it? 96.
I don't know. Don't ask me. He's the quiz master.
97. So
No, wait. So let's not confuse. Yeah, okay, so sorry, that's confusing. That picture in there is actually when he scores the penalty in '96.
Not great.
But that's
Steady
not.
on.
That's not
Steady
when.
on. That's not.
Oh, okay.
He knows
Sorry,
it,
mate.
He knows it. I'm done.
So what year Stuart Pearce missed the England penalty?
Are we writing the year or the country?
Who were we
Who
playing
we played?
and
And the
what
year.
year?
1 point for both.
1 point for both. And if it's an easier way, because if someone gets it.
Watch this. I'll get the year. And I'm gonna
Yeah, no,
the
we're
other side.
going to be here at 10 o'clock tonight.
That is a difficult question.
Ready?
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not that difficult. Okay, so you've gone 1990 Germany semi-final. He's gone Italy 92. John?
Balls on the money.
July 2008.
No.
No.
No. Balls on the money.
I remember that. Italian 90.
So the game
I was there.
1990 Stuart Pearce. I'm afraid I can't give you the Germany because it was West Germany.
Well, I actually rubbed it out, but I'm not sure about the Berlin Wall. But I was there. I was about 5 years old watching my granddad in Algeria.
Well
He
done,
was in
Jonesy.
tears.
So then it was 6 years later he scored the one there in the Euros
Right,
and
so
broke through.
you were giving my postcode to this Budweiser.
So this Budweiser's all coming your way, mate.
Hold on.
No, against
What's his
Germany.
number? James.
Oh, the goal he scored. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in the Euros. Right, guys. I think that's it for today. We need to collapse these cameras round and get set up. Get down and we'll have these doors open within the hour. So if you're watching now, get yourself down here for the game. It should be a good one. Thanks, Rich, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
That's really kind of you.
Stick
Hopefully,
around
we
and
get.
watch the game for a bit.
Stay around for a little bit. Maybe not watch the
Yeah.
game, but
And obviously, when you're sued by half the England players, I'll definitely come and see you in prison. Anyway, thank you, guys. Thanks very much. Next bar chat will be before the next game, which I think, if we go by where we are right now,
Well, it's Tuesday now.
Sunday.
it's
looking at
Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
Saturday or
So
Sunday.
hopefully we win the group, which means the game is on Sunday evening. probably
7
against
o'clock.
Senegal. Let's not assume that we will beat the Welsh, but we have to. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Fan cams later, by the way.
Thank you.